Once again, we're pleased to be able to talk technology and talk some of the most popular engines in the sport aviation spectrum with Eric Tucker. And in the Rotax world, Eric, well, you're not exactly the god of engine maintenance at this point, but you sit to the right hand.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, we've been doing it a long time, that's for sure.
It's built a phenomenal reputation for a normally aspirated, solid little four-banger that goes anywhere, does it well, and the best part is, doesn't drink a whole hell of a lot of gas.
That's right. Actually, it's an interesting comment you made because we originally came out with the four-stroke opposed 9 series with an 80 horsepower, as you know. As time moved on, we got into the middle of the 1990s, and people wanted more power-to-weight ratio. The issue was we had this nice little 61 millimeter stroke with a 79.5 millimeter bore, the 1211 cc 9-to-1 compression 80 horse, and said, well, what can we do better? And the actual term you used is exactly right. Let's soup it up.
Yeah.
Let's make it a super 912, and that's where the S moniker comes from. And what they did is we stretched out the bore to 84 millimeters, jacked the compression to 10.5 to 1, changed the camshaft, tweaked it a little bit, and lo and behold, you get a 100 horsepower takeoff, which is a really good feat when you consider that the engine only weighs 2 pounds more than its 80 horsepower cousin.
No kidding, just 2 pounds. I didn't know that.
That's right. And that 2 pounds really is just in the bigger piston and bigger cylinder. Other than that, the other weight gains on the engine are from a few accessories that we tend to add. We add a overload clutch assembly into the gearbox, which adds about another 2.5, 3 pounds. And we went to a high torque starter on the back, which adds a little bit, but it increases the starting ease of the engine because of the high compression ratio. The version you're looking at today is the latest configuration of a 912S or 100 horse. Now this comes in 2 versions. You'll hear it called a ULS or an S. Just to explain that, the UL series means it's ASTM compliant.
Okay.
And the S series means it meets a type certificate, FAR Part 33. So we make both engines. They're almost identical. The only difference is one has a TC and one does not.
Cirrus Design's Vision SJ50 single-engine personal jet offers exceptional fuel efficiency, flexible seating for up to 7, advanced avionics, and all the Cirrus safety features you expect, including the Cirrus airframe parachute system. With its V-tail design, the Cirrus Vision is technologically advanced, yet engineered to be simple to fly, to allow owner pilots more lifestyle pursuits than any other personal aircraft. Learn more about the Vision SJ50 at cirrusdesign.com.
This version is the ASTM compliant version. And right away we notice these bright orange fire sleeve lines and the T off the manifold. That particular device, this is to meet the ASTM fire protection standards. And Rotax said, well, you know, we already make this for type certificated engines. So we just put on the TSO'd pump and lines and the TSO'd components. This is exactly the same as we supply it to the type certificated engines.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't make any differentiation there. I said, we're not going to recreate anything. There is on top something that's a little different than the engines in the past. There's a fuel return fitting. By simply pulling this off and connecting a line back to tank, we now have something that's going to greatly reduce any vapor lock issues and so on, which is a great point when we talk about altitude, and particularly if you're talking about people, users of auto gas. So that's got a special fitting on the fuel distribution block for that. Moving on, when you look at this particular engine, I'll point out the oil pump at the front. This oil pump has another fitting that's on the front, and the oil line inlet fitting is also an AN fitting, as opposed to the push-on barb type fittings. At the bottom of the engine we have a similar fitting. This is to allow the user to use AeroQuip or Stratoflex GA type aviation hoses, and that's also to help the manufacturers for ASTM compliant installations in light sport meet the rules and requirements of the standard.
Okay, we are cleared for our approach. Have our Garmin GPS set up to fly the LPV. And look, here comes the glide path. You're probably wondering how we can intercept a glide path when there's no ILS on the field. Well, hey, that's the beauty of WAAS GPS. No ILS, no localizer, no problem. WAAS gives us full vertical guidance even without ground-based nav aids. Okay, next you're probably wondering why there's spit all over your side of the windshield.
It is a gearbox-equipped engine. We have a 2.4 to 3 to 1 ratio. Now that ratio is really good because at takeoff power, you're going to get about 2,600 RPM takeoff performance for the prop. I can run my 72-inch propeller if I want to. That helps a lot. Crankshaft speed's about 5,800 RPM at takeoff. Normal 75% cruise 5,000, but you'll find it sips very, very little fuel at that. As soon as people open the box, they're going to notice the green valve covers. That tells you that it's basically the 100-horse version. And of course, black being the 80 and the red being the 115 turbocharged. The electric starter assembly, this is the high torque electric starter, notably different than the smaller versions found on the 914 or 80 horse.
And as engines go, this has become the standard for the light sport movement. Virtually everything coming on down the line at this point is powered by Rotax and a 100-horse 912S.
Yes, sir. Everybody said you couldn't do it with a geared engine. Everybody was skeptical about liquid-cooled heads. And I think we've proven them wrong, and I think that everybody that's been flying them has been really, really surprised. Low maintenance and certainly smooth running, and I think that real good bang for the buck.
There you have it, folks. It's the Rotax 912S, 100 horsepower, only 2 pounds more than the straight 912 at 80 horse, and possibly the best value in the Rotax series, and an engine that's become the backbone of the light sport aircraft movement.